Alright, so you want to know how to drop trailers and pick them up and all that kind of stuff. What's the best way to do it? Well, stick around, we're going to find out right now. So here is the trailer I prepared earlier. And we're going to drop this trailer right here and I'll show you step by step how we do it. So first things first, we're going to put down the legs. We use this handle and just wind. So once we've wound down in the high speed, as far as it'll go until it basically stops, we don't need to keep going, just touch it to the ground and that's it. As you'll notice, it's just touching the ground now. After that, I usually pull the bin. Now sometimes when you try to disconnect the turntable, most turntables, well, this is Holden hitch, so basically all you've got to do is pull it. Others, you've got to lift up a little latch and then you can pull forward and then back. So depending on whatever one you've got, if for some reason you can't pull it, then there's weight on the block. So basically what you've got to do is get in and just reverse up a little and then you'll find that it'll pull. Now the last thing to do is to undo the taps, the hoses. So we're simply going to turn the locking mechanism back a bit and they pull off. Simple as that. Now, a bit of a tip for these, when you put these on and then lock them, I'll do one now to just give you an idea. So I don't know if you can see this, but you'll see this flat edge here. Flat edge, and then you see a little knob there. So that enables it to go in. If you turn that a little, it doesn't go in very far. So when we put these on, you always put them on and turn them about, maybe 10-15%. So it's just past it, maybe that far past it. And if you do that every single time, then it's really easy to get off. Just get off like that, put on, and it's off. It can't ever come off unless you turn it back off. Yeah, so always get into the habit of just turning enough for it to go past the locking part and you won't go wrong. So final check now. We've undone the hoses. We don't want to snap those off. We've pulled the turntable. We've wound down the legs. So now there's nothing to do besides get in the truck and I'll show you what to do there. Right, now we'll start the truck up. Next thing to do is to flick this little switch here and we're dumping the airbags. Now that the airbags are down, we can simply pull forward slowly. There you have it, we've accomplished the goal. We've dropped the trailer, there's the truck, and there's the trailer. So simple as that. Now, let's reverse the process, but remember, I didn't keep winding those legs down. Now you might see other people, they'll drop the legs, then they'll put it into low gear and do another 10 or 15 or so. Now, I'm going to show you what it's like to back this onto this trailer, having done what we've just done, and watch what happens when I hook onto the kingpin, and watch these legs will basically just be lightly on the ground. So any movement, side movement, is not going to damage the legs because basically you've taken all the weight off already. So let's go and jump back in the truck and we'll reverse the process. But remember, it's not really reversing the process. This time we're actually going to pretend like we're hooking up the trailer for the first time. And what we're going to do is reverse. We're going to dump the airbags, but not just dump them all the way down. Just going to take some air out, just take some weight off the turntable as we're reversing. And then as soon as we're under the skid plate, we're going to lift it back up before it hits the kingpin. Okay, and that's it. We are locked in there. Now, how do we check? Well, with the Holland, how you check is, well, let me show you. So that bolt on the front there, if that's in, then that's locked in. Some people check at the back here and have a look in there and stuff like that, but to be honest, when it comes to Holland, if that bolt is in all the way, it's locked. Nothing you can do about it. It's not coming off. If it's out a bit, well, then you're going to have to fix that up. Now, remember I told you how when we back up, the legs are going to be a little loose, just like they were when I put the legs down on the ground. And let's check it now. And as you can see, well, I guess you weren't here to see it, but take my word for it, I did not touch I did not wind them up or down or whatever. That's just how they go. So that's all well and good for a trailer that I dropped and I picked up. Because my truck, I know how I'm doing things. But what if I pick up one of these other trailers over here? I didn't see them drop it. I don't know how high or low or what. I don't know what they did. So basically you've got to back up to the skid plate. Now, what is the skid plate? Let's go and have a look. The skid plate is the top. Is this thing up here. So you've got the turntable that skids on the skid plate. So if I'm picking up someone else's trailer, I don't know how high or low they'll put the legs. So I need to come up to the skid plate. I can lower the airbags, come up to the skid plate, go up, stop, get out, have a look to see if there's a gap, because sometimes if people are winding those legs down like crazy, there's going to be a gap between the skid plate and the turntable. And if there is, then of course we have to wind the legs down in order for the trailer to come down. So I think that basically covers it. Of course, after we've wound the legs back up, we've checked the turntable, we've plugged our air lines and electrical back in, then we can do a tug test, and I'm going to show you how to do that next. Now, once we've got to the top, which is basically where the crease is there, then this handle goes in this hook here. And it just sits like that. Okay, so we're back in the truck. We know we've connected everything back up properly. So next thing what we're going to do is do a tug test. And a tug test just requires going forward and checking that the turntable is really locked. Now, as I said, with Holland, if that bolt's in, it's definitely going to be locked. And but we still check anyway. Over here, we have this trailer brake thing here, and what that does is enables you to put on the brakes only to the trailer and not the truck. So what we're going to do, we're going to roll forward a bit, and then as we're doing a couple of kilometers an hour, we're going to then put our foot on the clutch and basically pull that all the way down to really lock on the brakes. And what that'll do is it'll cause the truck to come to a stop, and then of course because the trailer stops quicker, then the trailer will stop the truck, and then the truck will eventually, in that little movement of the turntable, because there is a little bit of forward and back movement, not much, it'll then cause it to go backwards, forward, backwards, forward. And we want that wiggle to happen, because when you get that wiggle to happen, that's when you know it's not going to come out. See, if you do it the other way, the other tug test is while you're stationary, you haven't moved, you hold that trailer brake on hard as you can, put it in the gear and try to move forward. So that's good in one aspect, but what can happen is, yes, it can be locked on, but once the turntable gets loose and then the truck goes back a bit, then it could just fall out. And I've seen that happen. That has happened. I mean, most of the time that's possibly what happens, because people only pull forward and they don't allow the truck to wiggle backwards and forwards. Then you know that it's definitely locked in. So that's the way we do it, and let's do that right now. Right, because we've just got back in the truck and we've had the trailer supply disengaged, so that's up. So when we release the handbrake, it only releases the handbrake to the truck and not the trailer. So now we're going to push the trailer brake in. So now when we release the handbrake, we will also release the trailer. Okay, so now that's loose, or sorry, that's off. We're going to move forward and do our little tug test. So we'll only need to go in first gear for this, so put our foot on the clutch all the way to the floor firmly, and then using the gear stick we can just simply go forward. If it doesn't go forward, which is not, I release the handbrake with the clutch a little and it goes into gear. Now we're just going to move forward a bit, and then I'm going to pull on the trailer brake. So we'll move forward a bit, put in the clutch, and then holding it, I may even jerk it a little just for good luck, you know, or sometimes I may do it twice. Okay, and that's done. We are ready to go then, because it is now locked in, we know that for sure, and we can just drive up into the sunset. Well, there you go, that's it. That's how you do drop a trailer and pick it up, and it's really not that hard, is it? Anyway, I hope you liked what you saw. If you did, click the like button and maybe consider subscribing. And apart from that, I will see you next time. So have a great day.